Richard Howard, Labour MEP, you're also on the disability intergroup here in the European Parliament. How important do you think this freedom drive has been in Strasbourg?
Well, what worries me is that we've made so many gains over the years for the human rights of disabled people, and the freedom drive has come and we've celebrated its successes, but they've challenged us rightly to do more. But they come at a time when the recession in Europe, the level of the cuts to public services in my own country, Britain, but across Europe, mean that disabled people are suffering more than anyone else. And their message this year, one that I sadly have to echo, is that many of the gains of the past are being lost or are absolutely at risk.
Does it make a difference, you think, when they come in person to Strasbourg, and such a big group as well, to make their message felt at a European level, even if, as you say, there are problems at a national level with disability rights?
One of the great things about the Freedom Drive is that it's the most profoundly disabled people with multiple disabilities, people still today trapped in institutions, but who refuse just to lie down, and therefore have made the biggest effort that it's possible to make to come to the European Parliament in Strasbourg. And that's why only the biggest response from those of us who take decisions at the European level is sufficient.
And what do you make of the number of MEPs that have taken part in today's events? Some of the people that have come here have been disappointed, but it's tough work lobbying MEPs, but they've been nonetheless disappointed by the number of MEPs that have turned up to greet them.
I've been really disappointed that whilst we've got a very good band of active campaigning MEPs who support the All-Party Disability Rights Group, that those that are beyond our membership haven't sat up and taken notice when some of the most profoundly disabled people in Europe, living the most constrained lives, have done the most difficult thing possible to travel here, to be here, and for MEPs not to turn up to listen to them and to ensure that they have a voice is a condemnation not of them but of us.
And what about the issues that they've come here to raise, which are many-fold and cover various different topics? What do you make of those issues, and what kind of response have you been able to give to the Freedom Drive participants?
What we've been able to do is to compare the successes on things like access to public transport for disabled people, having a more accessible internet, ensuring that there is a proper rights-based approach that informs the policy at the European level, all things that we've done with them and them with us in past years, with an economic situation at the moment where if you're a disabled person, getting some money, for example in my own country Britain, from the Independent Living Fund, so that you can live independently, you can employ your own carers, you can stay out of an institution, you're seeing that fund abolished, and then the obligation put onto local authorities are having cash taken away from them, and in the end I'm campaigning across Eastern Europe to get disabled people out of institutions, and in my own country Britain I'm really fearing, and they tell me they fear, they're going to go back in.
So there's obviously concern at all different levels. Given the progress that's been made at a European level, do you feel that some of the work that you have to do, or at least the pressure that you have to come to bear, is in fact at a national level, at a local level back in the UK and in other parts of Europe?
Look, disabled people from every corner of Europe have come in this Freedom Drive to Europe because decision-making in Brussels and Strasbourg matters. But it matters because it affects the lives of people in every country and in every community across Europe. And yes, people like me who really champion and want to see equal rights for disabled people must do it right here in the European Parliament, but everywhere that we represent, and we must campaign as the disabled people from the Freedom Ride have come to tell us, with every member of the European Parliament doing it everywhere in Europe.